Hey, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. This is Turnbull. Really great to have you all with me. So welcome. And I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. I'm just going to get my slides up and we are going to get started. You know, we have been in a 90-day program. We have been learning a lot, and we have now graduated to weekly $1 Million mentor calls. And so last night's call, or this week's call, we had an amazing call with one of our $1 Million earner mentors. She was incredible. Jennifer Piper Kennedy. She's an amazing lady. And so we are going to be recreating that training for all of us tonight. And that focus is top leadership momentum killers. So I'm happy to talk to you about this topic tonight. And if you've been following along with any of our programs, just type a 1 into the chat. If you've been following along with any of the training that we've been doing this year, there's been so much good training. I would really recommend that you get onto the Facebook page, get onto the YouTube page, and see if you can grab some of this training, because it has been incredible. It's made a great difference for me, that's for sure. And so today we're going to talk about as you are building your business and as you are looking to build momentum, if you're in momentum, if you've had it and then lost it, you know, what are the things that can really kill that momentum? What are the things that you have to watch out for so that you make sure that you can reverse those as quickly as possible? And so let's get started. Now, the first thing to look out for is non-believers. All right. So if you're trying to build into momentum, into your network marketing business, and you're dealing with non-believers, or maybe you're feeling that way yourself, and this can happen, you know, at various times. Maybe you feel like the company is never going to get it right. We're always running out of product, or you know what, the economy is so bad. We're down in business. Nobody wants to spend money. We're really struggling. You know, people are not interested anymore. Those are all non-believer kinds of thinking. And in order to get through that and get around that, what you want to do is to practice belief. All right. So for every momentum killer, you want to flip it around, and you want to practice the opposite behaviors for yourself and then with your team. So what leaders do, all right, when they're facing that feeling of non-belief, or maybe they're facing non-believers in their team, what they do is they believe bigger, faster. All right, that has been a number one failing of many people in network marketing, is that they need to believe bigger, faster. Even me, you know, I always said if it took me 10 years to get to the top of our company, then that was just fine, because I was going to be working for 10 years anyways. And guess what? It took me close to 10 years to get to the top of the company. Now, why didn't I say, wow, I'm going to do it in 3 years. I'm going to be the fastest person in history. I could have believed bigger, faster. And so right now, I'm really pushing my belief to go all out. The other thing that leaders do is they act as if you're already there. If you want to be a 6-figure earner, a 7-figure earner, act as if you're already there. Do the things those people would do. And build your belief that way. If you act that way, if you are that way every single day, then naturally you will fall into where you want to be. Now, the next thing you can do, if you don't have that belief yourself, borrow someone else's belief. There is going to be someone around you, your team leader, your upline, your mentors, that have rock solid 1,000,000% belief. Borrow that belief. Lean into that belief, grab it for yourself. And when you have that amazing belief, pour it into your team. Look for the people who really need it and give them all the encouragement, and just share your unshakable belief with them and encourage them, because that will really help them. And finally, do whatever you have to build that unshakable belief. That is just so key, because belief is actually what separates the people that achieve from the people that don't achieve. So you have to be so unshakable in your belief that you can lead through anything. It doesn't matter what may happen, a recession, a pandemic, a lack of product, price increases, change in the comp plan. It doesn't matter what would happen, your belief is unshakable. You know, I feel that way so much myself. I've had family members question, are you sure this is the right thing for you? Yes, absolutely. I'm 100% sure. I believe in our company's product 1,000,000%. And I believe in the company's comp plan. I believe in the company, and I know this is the right business for me. So I am 1,000,000% unshakable in my belief. And I know that our business is going to grow. Our business is going to get into momentum. Our business is getting into new markets. And even our old markets are going to be growing very, very soon. I'm very, very clear about that. So practice that belief and breathe it into your team. Now, the next momentum killer is the inconsistent. Now, you may find yourself being inconsistent. I know probably all of us do at times. And, you know, people that show up, work hard for a week, and then you don't see them for a few weeks, right? Or maybe you go, you start your 100 conversations, but you're not doing any follow-ups, right? Or maybe you just get into a rut somehow and you're not doing the work. Well, that is going to really kill your momentum. So what do you practice? You practice consistency. And what do leaders do? Leaders build trust by always being there. If you're a leader and your team doesn't see you, other leaders don't see you, the company doesn't see you, then you're not creating any trust at all. So you want to be visible. You want to be communicating to your team every day, be communicating at large every single day. Be visible, show up, be at the trainings, share your comments. You know, make sure that people know you're there. Make sure that people know you're adding value. Be consistent every day. Maintain that baseline of activity. All right. So the baseline of activity, of prospecting, of inviting, of following up, of presentation, of, you know, promoting events, have that baseline and never, ever, ever go below it. You know, it can be easy to think, oh, I have a team to manage. I have so many other responsibilities, but set yourself a baseline of activity that you don't go below, period. All right. Maybe in a horrible day, you do a little bit less, but in a great day, you might do 5 times as much. So set that baseline and really strive to achieve it. Make sure you're showing up on social media as well. You know, I'm really trying to get a lot better at that. I'm trying to be more consistent, and that's important as well. So show up on social media, use the products every single day. I can't stress that enough. I have not missed using our products in almost 13 years, and I never will. So use the products, be consistent in using the products. And this is also something else to be consistent in, is making time for personal development. All right. It doesn't matter. I know that sometimes we can be so busy. And for me, I'm always listening to personal development, whether it is online, whether it's being part of a program like Accelerator or our Mastermind with Eric Worre. We've just come through a 90-day Accelerator program where we were online daily. But one thing that I don't always make time for, and I'm really working at being consistent on that every single day, is reading. And so I have Audible so that I can be listening to a book as I'm getting ready in the morning. I really love reading paper books or actual hardcover books because I love to highlight, I love to make notes. I started a book the other day and Selling the Wheel, and it was so fantastic. It was one of the books that I've had in my library. It's one of the books on our reading list, and I hadn't yet read it because I've got a lot of books waiting for me. And, you know, sometimes I tell myself, okay, I'm just going to read at least 20 pages a day. That's my goal. But I just devoured this entire book in 2 days. It was so amazing, so interesting. It was really easy to read. And it reminds me that I need to be consistent in reading and reading and reading every single day. It's not enough for me just to be online and learning online. I want to be reading as well, whether it's Audible or whether it's an actual book or even a PDF book. So leaders need to make time, even if it's busy, for personal development. Now, the next momentum killer, think about the big talker, okay? Maybe you know people who have achieved something, right? Now, they're just resting on their laurels. They just talk about their glories, you know, but they're not actually doing the work, right? They're talking about themselves and in what they've done, but maybe what they've done was a heck of a long time ago, and maybe they're not even being paid at that level, and yet they've got a big bold ego and are not really doing the work. So what do you do to make sure that you can avoid that momentum killer? Well, number one, you have to practice action. Okay, as a leader, we are always working hard. Okay, always working hard. Don't rest on your laurels of an achievement a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Work hard. Work hard. For me, I'm working mostly 12-hour days, sometimes more. It's pretty rare that I even take too much time off, although I did just take a holiday. But even in my holidays, I was still online on Zoom programs. I was still doing messages every day. I was still, you know, posting content. So make sure that you're working hard. Yes, take a break when you need one, absolutely, but work hard in your business. And always know, all right, that we are building and rebuilding. That is a normal state. Right now, for many of us, we're in the rebuilding stage. It's fine. It's perfect. You know, Jen was telling us last night that she got to the top of her company and she lasted there for 3 months, and then it all fell apart and she had to start building again from the bottom. And that can happen. Right now, for many of us, we're in a rebuilding stage. I know I certainly am, and I am going back to the basics. I am rebuilding. I am finding new people. I'm looking for those superstars, and I am going to be working very, very hard with them to make sure that we can create that next wave of success and build that next generation of leaders. Leaders also have to stay in the trenches, okay? So, you know, I've been thinking about this too, because in the early days of building our business, you know, we were traveling. At least for me, I was traveling to different places. I was doing trainings all the time. I was meeting with people one-on-one and sitting down with them and really getting the basics drilled in. And so that's what I'm going back to, because we need to be in the trenches with our teams. Leaders also stay on the leaderboards, all right? Make sure that you're showing up. Make sure that when there's, you know, leaderboards on new customers or new distributors, that you're part of that group, right? Make sure that you're earning the trips. Make sure that you are achieving the prizes if there are promotions, all right? Lead by example, lead by action, and don't rest on your laurels of being the talker of, you know, glory days in the past, okay? So practice action. The next momentum killer is the know-it-all, okay? It sometimes can be easy to feel like you know it all. You know, I remember once I had someone say to me, a colleague of mine who was really super smart, and I really admired him. We used to work together back in my corporate days. And he said, it's no fun being the smartest guy in the room. And at the time, I don't think I really understood it. And I was a little bit puzzled, and I thought, oh, that's a little bit arrogant. But now I understand that, you know, we have to always put ourselves in a room where there are people smarter than we are. And believe me, those people can come from anywhere. Those people can be, yes, 6- and 7-figure earners in programs like Eric Worre's, you know, Accelerator or Mastermind, but they can be our brand new team member who knows something that we don't know, right? So never think that you have finished learning. And what you want to practice doing as a leader is always be learning, okay? Leaders are professional students. We must be learning all the time. You know, as our mentor, Mr. Ugo, always tells us we have to be reading. I mean, he's the one that got me back into reading, and I've been loving it. And we have to be learning. We have to be growing every single day, and finding mentors we can learn from, finding programs we can learn from, learning from books, learning from online, learning from our colleagues in our business, learning from our team leaders in our business, but always be a student. Always be a student. Soak in the learning. We must be continuously improving. One thing that I'm going to start doing again today, because it's something that Eric is always teaching us, and something that I'm teaching others. And I've realized that in the last month or so, I haven't been doing it consistently. So I'm doing it today. It's going to be one of my non-negotiables, and that is plan, do, review. Every single day, we need to plan, do, review. That means that we are reviewing what we accomplished for the day and seeing, wow, what worked, what didn't work, what can we improve upon, and then do a plan, do, review for the week and for the month and for the quarter, right? And maybe for a 6 month and maybe for a year, so that you can see what is really happening, right? Maybe you're prospecting like crazy, but you need to figure out why the prospects aren't signing up, right? Maybe it's the wrong people you're targeting. Maybe it's the wrong process you're putting them through. Maybe you're not having them speak to someone else in the team for third-party credibility. You always have to plan, do, review every single day, and every week, every quarter, every month. So think about continuous improvement all the time. And, you know, one thing I love to say always, as leaders, as anyone in this business, we must always be learning to learn, learning to do, and then learning to teach. Okay. As soon as we learn something, we need to be doing it, and we need to be teaching it to somebody else. And this is why I loved the $1 Million Mentor training session from Jen this week in our accelerator program. And that's why I'm now turning around and sharing it with our teams that are following us in the Crown Diamond Global Impact pages, because we need to be sharing this great information as well. And leaders are also always willing to go first, right? It might be messy. So we recently put in into our team, we learned it from our mastermind a little bit. We'd heard of it, and so I started to put it together this year in December, and that was boards. And it's been the most incredible tool. It is the best tool that I have used, I think, in my entire career. It's really, really fantastic, and I'm sharing it with everyone I know now. We have our other leaders, double diamonds, crown diamonds, who have created boards now, and we're all using it. So we must be willing to go first, and we might have to learn something. We might be messy, but we have to be able to go first, so that then we can teach it to others, right? And that's a fantastic thing. And we always have to be learning from those around us, right? I learn from Chris and Tammy. I learned from Mike. I learned from the amazing Alberts. I was talking to them this week, and I'm learning so much from them. I have a call right after this program. I'll be learning something from a digital marketing expert. I learn from every one of you. I learn a lot. So always be willing to learn as a leader. It's really going to help you. Now, another momentum killer in leadership is having no team culture. And the last thing that you want is for team members to feel like they're just on their own. They're just out there in the middle of a big, vast, ocean, big, vast lake, and they're not connected to anything bigger than themselves, right? You don't want that, because a team culture is going to help them stay even when times are tough or when they're facing challenges. And so as a leader, we have to practice team culture, right? We have to practice a culture of recognition for activities, right? Not just for results, but for activities, right? Celebrating when someone is doing something in social media, starting to create posts, or maybe they've arranged their first third-party credibility call, or maybe they've had 3 or 4 people show up on a Zoom opportunity meeting. Fantastic. Those are all great activities. So we want to celebrate people, we want to appreciate them, and we want to create that culture of teamwork. All right, so that people don't feel alone. And create a culture too that selects and protects. So what does that mean? I've become a lot more selective of who I will actually work with. And if our culture, for example, in our team, we really have a culture of learning, of personal growth, and being positive, right? I don't stand for negativity. If someone has an issue, absolutely, let's talk about it, but let's not be negative. There's always solutions. There's always things that we can do. And if I'm talking to someone as a potential new prospect, and I'm not feeling a lot of positive energy, I'm feeling just complete dullness or negativity or unwillingness to kind of move forward in personal development or growth, sometimes I just will even deselect that person. I won't take it any further. Or if I'm finding there's kind of a weird vibe, I used to be anyone and everyone, come on, let's go. Now I will cut off the conversation. I'll say, it's been great talking to you, but I don't think this is really going to work out. I've said that pretty recently, actually. And so if you don't think someone is fitting the culture of what you're trying to create, then don't necessarily think you're going to change them, but maybe don't even select them in the first place. You don't need everyone, you need the right people. And then protect your team culture as well. If your team culture is about being positive, if your team culture is about showing up and supporting each other, then when you see something that doesn't fit in that team culture, something that's happening in the group, then make sure that you're calling that out and that you're dealing with that issue head on, so that you protect the culture that you've set up to create. And what you want to think about is, what is your team known for? What is the culture that you want to create? So our culture, for my team, one of our cultures is about personal development and growth. We spent a lot of time in the last year working with an amazing mentor, doing a lot of personal growth and development. We do a lot of training. And, I remember being in a new market recently, and one of our newer associates said, in the last 4 months, I've learned more from you and the team than I've learned in my 20-year network marketing and corporate career history. And so that's really important, because without that personal development, you can't really go very far. So that's one of the culture areas that we set in our team. But what do you want to be known for? And so think about that, and think about the culture that you want to create in your team. Okay, that will really go a long way. Now, here is another momentum killer, and this is the problem pusher. Okay, there's always going to be problems in business and in life. That much is 1,000,000%. So in our network marketing business, of course, there are going to be problems. There's going to be issues, right? There's going to be challenges with the company, with product supply, with the comp plan, with changes, with whatever, with team members. There's always going to be problems. It's fine. All right. But who you don't want to be is someone who just pushes that problem up to your upline or up to somebody else, or sends a message to the company. No, you don't want to be that person. Okay, that is going to be a momentum killer for sure. So as leaders, what we have to practice problem solving. Okay, you want to solve problems at the lowest possible level. Okay, so what does that mean? It means don't get the president of the company involved when it's an easy thing that could be solved. Okay, don't go and bring it up on a public page when you should be dealing with it privately. So let's say, for example, you send someone to an event and somebody else talk to that person, but they were your guest. And, you know, maybe they signed up with that person. Of course, that's not allowed. It's not appropriate. It's negative. So you want to solve problems at the lowest level possible. So rather than, you know, calling the country manager and saying, oh, this is what happened, you know, try to seek to understand what happened. Try to call the person that spoke to your guest. Try to speak to your guest. Try to work it out amicably and see, maybe they didn't understand. Maybe the guest didn't tell them. Maybe they said, oh, I can't remember the name of the person who invited me. Who knows what happened? Seek to understand first. If you can't solve it, then get the next level involved. Maybe get your team leader involved or the other person's team leader, okay? And try to work it out at the next level, but try and do it at the lowest level possible. You don't need to get every top leader in the company, every top manager in the company involved in solving problems that could be very easily sorted out. Okay, you also want to solve problems quickly. Don't let them fester. Okay, try and deal with them as quickly as possible. And what leaders do is, yes, acknowledge the problem. Spend a bit of your mindset on the problem, but spend the bulk of your time on the solution. Okay, spend the bulk of your time on the solution. So I just had a conversation with one of our country managers. We have something that we need to be communicating, and I'll be doing that shortly, and we'll figure out a solution. It's going to be great, right? But don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. And leaders are always resourceful. Okay, there's always a way. There's always a way around it. You know, we have great examples in our company where we've had wonderful rank advancements even during the most turbulent times, right? Even during times where there was no product. I know when I hit my top rank, that's the day we ran out of product, you know? And so it happens all the time that there are going to be challenges, but we can be resourceful. And as long as we have the right mindset and we're resourceful in how we tackle something, everything can be dealt with. Now, leaders also never whine or complain, okay? And never, never, never poison the well. What does that mean? It means never, ever go into a group, go into a page, on a Facebook, anywhere where there's public or a group setting, never complain. Never say, oh, this didn't work well. What do you mean these commissions didn't? No, 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 no. Okay. You may have brand new people or people who are rolling along very, very happily, excited about their business. And because of one thing that didn't go well for you, you've now poisoned the whole well for everybody else. Okay. So always be positive, never be negative. Things are always figure outable. Things are always solvable. And when people come to you with a complaint, or when you see someone who is complaining, work with them to coach them on how to solve problems, okay? Because that's really going to serve them. It's going to serve them in all aspects of their life, not just their network marketing business. Now, the next momentum killer is the defeatist. People that are just like, well, I tried. You know, I tried. I talked to people, but they just never seem to want to buy the products. They never seem to want to join up. I don't know. Everyone I sign up, they never do anything. I've tried, you know, I've tried, right? Like, no, don't do that, right? What you want to do is practice vision and know that you have a strong vision. That means you're going to do whatever it takes to accomplish your goals. If something's not working, you're going to get mentorship. If something's not working, you're going to talk to someone about it. If something's not working, you're going to see who's doing something that is working, right? But you're not just going to be, I tried, I talked to 5 people. They all said, no, I guess this is not really for me. No, 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 my goodness, no. So you want to be practicing vision, and leaders always share a vision, you know, a vision for what's possible, a vision for what can be accomplished with this business. You know, in my team, our vision is we want to impact 1 million families. Our team is called Maximum Impact. We want to impact 1 million families. It starts with you. We have a vision, and we are very, very committed to impacting families. And we know that we can do it. We can do it with health. We can do it with personal development. We can do it with income. And so we want to inspire people with the vision that we share with them. Okay. And the people that join you and your vision are people that you want to be working with. Those are people that you can keep inspired. And we have to also understand that it's about working together, right? Again, you don't want someone to be just on their own. They feel like, oh gosh, I've talked to people, it's just not working. Make sure that you're supporting them, right? Inspire them again around the vision that you're going for. Make sure you're coaching them so that they can refine their approach and see some success, and they will get there. All right. So don't be defeatist, and don't allow your team to be defeatist. Make sure you're keeping an eye out so that you can inspire and coach. Now, the next momentum killer in your business is the person who's passive, okay? Who's just waiting for the company to sort things out, waiting for the product issues to be sorted out, waiting for the economic conditions to come back, waiting for the new markets to open. Just waiting. I'll just wait. When it's all sorted out, I'll come back. Well, I'll tell you what, if you just keep waiting, nothing will be perfect. But if you make things happen, oh my goodness, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. So what you want to practice to get over this issue of being passive is practice moving. Just be moving, be in action, be moving all the time. So leaders are competitive, right? What did you do last month, and what are you going to do this month? Be competitive against yourself. Be competitive in a good way, right? Be competitive in what your goals are, what you want to accomplish. I know that my upline is so competitive. Oh my goodness, I love him to bits, and he'll say to me, so how many people do you have coming to the launch? How many people do you have normally on a Zoom? You know, and he wants to know those numbers because he wants to push himself and push me to do even better, which I love. So be competitive with yourself. Be competitive if it's going to fuel your team members, right? Sometimes people love competitions, right? Set up little competitions in your team, and it really works. Leaders also work hard, and they set the pace, right? Leaders really do set the pace. So people need to see you working hard, and you need to work hard. You need to be setting that pace. You need to be on the move, on the go, because it's really going to give you energy. It's going to give you momentum. It's going to move you forward, which is amazing. And leaders are also driven by purpose. You know, I know that part of what my purpose is I need to be able to teach people how to be successful. So I can't stop until we've really cracked that code, until we have that amazing momentum where everyone who comes in can just gravitate towards success if they do the work, if they choose to. And so I'm very, very committed to that. You know, I've had success, but I want other people to have success. I want to change people's lives. I want to impact families. So I have to be able to be there so that they can also be there. And we also, as leaders, we can't have an employee mindset, right? We can't wait for things to be done for us. We can't wait for things to be perfect. We can't wait for the company to have it all together. No. We are the ones who have to create. We are the ones, if we don't have something, let's go out and make it happen. We are the ones that have to come out with suggestions, that come out with ways to make things better, right? And we are the ones to go first. Let's just go first. Let's just make it happen. Let's be out there. And the other thing that we can do as leaders to practice is lead across the lines. What does that mean? It means don't just be there for your team, okay? Lead across other teams, right? This call today, the group we put together with our Crown Diamond Global Impact Group, it is leaders from across teams. We've locked arms to bring everyone whoever is ready for it, whether they're even in Max or not in Max, we have brought them training that can help them in their business, right? And when we collaborate, and whether you're collaborating with other teams in your own company, or even sometimes, I mean, we collaborate all the time in Eric Worre's mastermind across companies. It's a beautiful thing. There's so much value to be created there. So always look for how you can add value to everyone, how you can collaborate so that more value can be created through that collaboration, and that you can make more of an impact for more people. Okay, that will also really make a difference in your momentum. And then another momentum killer is being scattered. The scattered people, oh my gosh, the people that are, today it's one thing, tomorrow it's another thing, next day it's another thing. And you know, your team doesn't even really know which direction to go in because you're all over the place, right? Okay, this is our system today. This is what we're doing tomorrow. You know, next day we're going to do something different. And oh, look, bright, shiny object over there. Let's go over and look over there. So the scattered person is not really someone that you want to be, because it's not going to help your momentum. So what we have to practice is focus. Okay, leaders have focus. Leaders know exactly where they're going, and they are very, very focused, and they are very disciplined, very, very disciplined. So disciplining our intentions, what does that mean? What are the actions daily that are non-negotiable? So what are the things that you know that you have to accomplish every single day, non-negotiable, that if you went to bed at night and you all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, I didn't do that, you would get out of bed and you would do it, right? So for me, what works really well for me is when I'm in an accountability group, and I know that at the end of the night, I have to post my plan, do, review. I have to post my my efforts for the day. And even if it's, you know, 11 or 12 at night and I'm dog tired and I can barely lift my head, there's no way I'm putting my head on the pillow before I post that, because when I get into an accountability group, for me, it's a non-negotiable. I want to lead by example. And if worst case, I don't do it that night, I do it in the next morning. So what is your daily method of operation? That's also a discipline, right? If you get into a daily method of operation, we just had a great training on that. Look in the group. It was on earlier in the week. Fantastic. So what is your daily method of operation that you are going to be disciplined in achieving every single day? And then leaders also set goals, okay? Whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So have your focus and set your goals, and make sure that we as leaders are not majoring in the minor things. What does that mean? If we have a certain amount of time to work in our business every day, especially those who are working part-time, maybe only have an hour or two per day, or 30 minutes per day, or whatever the time frame is, don't spend all of that time doing administrative work, okay? Don't spend all of that time scrolling social media to see what's popular and what reels you can create. Spend time on the income producing activities, right? That's prospecting, that's inviting, that's following up, that's doing third-party credibility for your team members. Don't spend all your time in non-income producing activities. And then, like I said, plan, do, review, right? That will really help in your focus. It's something that I'm going to get much better in. I find that when I do plan, do, review on a daily basis, it's really, really helpful. And I do find that I make incremental improvements on a regular basis. It's something that Eric Worre preaches, and I love it. I know it's something that many of you do very, very well. It's something that I am working on getting better in. So that's something I'm going to be making as my non-negotiable as well. And then another momentum killer, the drama queen or the drama king. That's the person who lets their emotions rule their business, okay? If something doesn't go well, then they are angry, all right? And they might just say, ah, that's it. I'm not doing this today. And they just shut down. They lock themselves off of wonderful benefits they could be having, wonderful value they could be having, because they get mad, because someone said something, someone did something, and instead of just responding calmly or not letting it get to them, they let their emotions get the better of them, and sometimes even to the point of where it might even force them out of the business. And that's a terrible, terrible thing. So and they also cause a lot of drama wherever they are. If they're angry and they're sharing that anger on the pages, and they're doing, they're upset, and they're making everyone around them upset, it's not a good use of your time. It's not a good use of anyone's time to have drama in your team. So what we have to practice to get over that is composure. Okay, as leaders, we have to feed the dream, not the drama. Remember the dream, remember it. So what is the vision? What could you actually achieve if you were going to be successful? Feed that every day. Don't feed the drama. And if you're someone who really struggles with emotions, then if you have to, just take a time out, right? If you find yourself responding and you're seeing the emotions come up, the negative or the upset or the angry or whatever it is, then just tell yourself, I am not going to do a thing about this for 24 hours. And maybe 24 hours later, it will seem a lot better. I know, I'm generally pretty composed. I'm pretty even keeled. I don't think probably too many of you could say they've seen me mad. Even my family, my sister is marveled at how patient I am and how calm. But once in a while, I do get upset. And in every case, I know that one thing I actually do a lot, whether it's good or bad, is I always respond immediately. And that doesn't always serve me. For if I'm angry or if I'm upset or if I don't understand something, I should just let it sit. So I'm going to be working on that, but I just need to let it sit and then look at it again the next day. And the next day it will probably seem a whole different ballgame. All right. So if you find that you're in that camp, then practice the 24-hour timeout. Now, as leaders, they also deal with issues head on. So if there's an issue, don't avoid it. Don't put your head in the sand and pretend it's not coming, pretend it's not there. Deal with it. Talk to a person. I always say, seek to understand. So sometimes when we're dealing with an issue, we might come across as confrontational or accusing. And I find that it's better if when you're dealing with a potential issue that you seek to understand, right? I always like to, if I'm going to speak to someone about an issue, I will always appreciate them for who they are, what they've done, and then say, I noticed that this happened. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? I'd like to understand more, right? So just seeking to understand without any judgment, without any accusation, but just understanding. Okay, so that's also very, very important. And then you want to slay the dragon, which means if there is an issue starting to bubble up in your team or in your business, deal with it and put it to bed, okay? Don't just tiptoe around it, taking a few leaves off here and there, but try and deal with it at the root and get it done so that it doesn't keep growing in your business and in your team. Never, ever gossip, okay? It can be easy. I know it can be fun at times, but really try. Leaders don't do that. Leaders don't gossip. Oh, did you hear about so-and-so? Did you hear about this? Try to keep the gossip to a minimum, okay? If you find yourself getting caught up in gossip, then just don't take part, right? If you see people around you who are gossiping and they're trying to draw you into this, just say, sorry, I don't know anything about it and I choose not to get involved, right? Just keep yourself out of it. Don't gossip. Don't be someone who's known as a gossip as well. And like I said earlier, leaders are positive, never negative. There's no reason to be negative ever. So even if business is down, even if there are challenges, even if there are issues, you know, stay positive, stay optimistic about the future, come up with solutions, come up with ideas that will help you move forward past the whatever challenges there are. And if you do need to talk to someone about your challenges, look for someone up, okay? Look for an upline, a mentor that you can discuss it with, but don't ever discuss it down with your team at all. Very, very key. And then also, leaders need to be energy givers, okay? You need to be the light in the room. You need to be the electricity that gets everyone going again, right? Don't be an energy sucker. Don't be an energy vampire, all right? When someone sees that you're calling them, don't have them think that, oh, I don't want to talk to her. Oh, but I guess I have to pick up the call, right? Have them think, oh, good. I can't wait to hear her happy voice, right? So be someone who's always upbeat, and it will really go a long way. You'll feel upbeat, people around you will feel upbeat, and if you've got issues, you can solve them. I promise you can. Now, oh my gosh, this one, a hot mess express. You know, I'm sure you've probably all seen people who are all over the place. They don't know where anything is. They don't know how to get things done. They keep asking you the same question over and over again. They don't seem to have any kind of plan or approach or system to their business. And you know, they might have achieved something, but it's very, very hard to lead a team and build momentum if you are really a hot mess. And so what do you need to practice? You need to practice planning. You need to practice planning, and you need to practice systems. So leaders have simple systems, and systems can take a long time to develop, but there are parts of systems that can be available, okay, for everyone, like the boards, for example, that I was mentioning. Very, very easy. Now, if your team doesn't have a board, most of you are part of Active Team. You can go to their website and you'll be able to see their board if you're part of our business. But you want to start creating simple systems for daily method of operation. So we just had a great training on this. This would be applicable to anyone. We just had a great training on it. We have a simple system for daily method of operation, simple systems for getting started and onboarding somebody new, for getting to core rank, doing customer onboarding and retention, leadership development, promotions and events. So if there's a promotion going on, what is the system to get it out there? What is the system to get some competition going? What is the system to make sure that you're maximizing the promotion? If there is an event, what kind of system is in place to maximize the event, to leverage it, to get as many invitations out as possible? So, you know, we are not perfect in having perfect systems for every single one of these, for sure. We have a great Getting Started Right one-page handout for getting started and onboarding, which keeps it pretty simple. You know, we have a 5-5-5, which is write down your five best potential customers, 5 best potential business partners, and 5 best potential family and friends supporters of yours. And we teach you how to start conversations. So we have a very simple onboarding, getting started process that we use, most of us. But there are a lot of systems that it can take a long time to get perfected. So just check for yourself to see what you feel you would have as a system for your team. And by the way, a system is a system when everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. Okay, so these are things to grow to. We don't have to have them all perfectly, but it's things to look at, things to grow to. Now, another momentum killer. You know, maybe you've achieved something in your business, and now you're high and mighty, right? Oh, I've done it. I've arrived. I'm amazing, right? You never want to get to that point. Never, never, never. So what do leaders do? Well, leaders have to practice humility. Okay, that's what we must practice. We must be humble. All right. And we also really need to understand that the team that got us to where we are may not be the team to get us to the next level. So if you've achieved something, it may not be the same team that's going to get you to the next stage. And so you want to really think about that. Leaders check their egos at the door. Okay, no ego. Ego has no place in network marketing. It really doesn't. And they're always willing to learn, always in building mode. We as leaders, we must be recruiting, we must be inviting, we must be finding new team members, we must be prospecting. So we're always in building mode, never get fully into management mode. That is a really bad place to be because you will always need new blood coming into your team. We need to inspire instead of dictate, right? We can't be the boss. We're not the boss. Nobody works for us. So we have to lead by inspiration, by vision. And we also have to be really, really good at recognizing our teams. So we need to be giving our team space to grow into their own leadership, right? Not that we're the high and mighty, we're the only ones who can do it, we're the only ones who can be on the training poster, we're the only ones who can run training calls or run the Zooms. So sometimes that means that we have to push our team members out of the nest and just encourage them strongly and get them out front and center, because once they start doing it and they realize, wow, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Wow, then it becomes really, really exciting. And it's going to be amazing for your business as well. It's really going to build great momentum. Now this one, oh my gosh, I really hope that, well, I know some of us will recognize ourselves in this because of course we always have a month end coming around every month. And at that month end, we're looking at the business, we're seeing, okay, what has to happen to close up? Who has to do their auto ship, who can achieve something. And so if you have these people in your business, or if you are one of them yourself, that the only time you are ever checking in with your team members is on the last day of the month or the last few days of the month to get their auto ship done or to get their volumes done so that you can be making money, it's not good, okay? People see it, they smell it, they know it. And if that's the only time they hear from you, it will be a big, big momentum killer. I've certainly had people say to me that, oh, so-and-so, well, they're calling me. I know what they're calling me for. So I don't even pick their call, because you don't have that genuine relationship with your team member. So as leaders, we have to practice connection. We have to practice connection. Since I've just got back to Nigeria, I've been traveling in East Africa and South Africa, and I'm back for a couple of weeks, and I really wanted to connect with a lot of people. And I purposefully waited until after month end because I didn't really want to call and talk about month end and volumes and this and that. I wanted to call after month end to say, wow, how are you doing? What's going on with the family? What's happening with you? How are you feeling about your projects? And then finally, what do you feel is going on with your business right now? So we have to make sure as leaders that we're communicating with our teams, firstly, all month long. Okay, they need to know that we're in communication, both in the pages, both on Facebook or wherever we're talking to them. Maybe in chats, but we also have to stay in the trenches, and we have to be there. People have to see us working, okay? They can't just see us at month end when we're making calls. It doesn't work, okay? So stay in the trenches, make sure people see you working, make sure we're in communications, and that we're building those genuine connections with people. It's not about business, it's about the person. And if we nurture the person, we teach them the right skills, we understand what they truly want to achieve, and we help them achieve what their goals are, then everything will grow. Okay, momentum will definitely grow. So don't let your team wonder where you are, right? Even when you're on vacation, show up, right? Show up. You can still make a post here and there. You can still congratulate someone here and there. And of course, people are going to know that you're away. That's fine too. Everyone deserves to have some time off, but don't just disappear and your team doesn't see you or hear from you, right? Until month end. And be an example. If there's a training call, be in it. If there's a Zoom call, be in it. Make a post something in the chat. Wow, that was awesome. Wow, great job, right? So that people see that you're there. People actually see that you're doing something. So in summary, you want to avoid these momentum killers and instead practice belief, build your belief, practice consistency, practice being in action, practice learning, building a team culture, problem solving, sharing vision, always being in movement, moving up, moving forward, your focus, your composure, your planning and your systems, humility and connection. And one thing that's important is the plan, do, review. So as you look at these bullets, okay, and for me, it's really, really good. I want to actually look at these and do a plan, do, review. What areas do I want to become better in? Because sometimes things can slip when you're not stepping back and taking a little bit of a look. I had a call with one of our amazing leaders today, and I said, what do you think we can be doing better as a team? And he said, well, we haven't really been connecting as much as we used to as a team. I said, you know what, you're right. Let's start that again. And so we'll schedule a call for in the next few days. So, we have to continually do a plan to review on ourselves on all of these things as well, and see if there's an area that we've maybe need to work on a bit, maybe need to get better at a bit. And that will really go a long way as well. So thank you so much for being part of this call. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm really happy and hope you got some value. Thank you to Jennifer Piper Kennedy, our $1 Million mentor, for sharing this training in our GoPro Accelerator program. And I hope that you all have enjoyed it tonight. So everyone have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. And please go out and start practicing these great, great, great qualities so that you can be building momentum in your business. Have a fantastic night. Bye-bye.